Dive in with us today as we explore the depth and breadth of one of the most influential poets of the Victorian era, Alfred, Lord Tennyson. Born in the quiet county of Lincolnshire, England, in the early 19th century, Tennyson's life was far from quiet. He was the fourth of 12 children, and his early life was marred by the erratic behaviour and frequent mental breakdowns of his father, a circumstance that undoubtedly cast long shadows over his formative years. Yet, it was in this turbulent environment that Tennyson first encountered the captivating world of poetry. As a child, he would often find solace and escape within the rhythmic lines of verse, nurturing a talent that would eventually captivate the world. His education at the King Edward Grammar School in Louth provided Tennyson with the opportunity to further develop his poetic prowess. It was here that he penned his first collection of poetry, a feat he accomplished with the help of his two elder brothers. This was a taste of the literary success that was to follow. As Tennyson's reputation grew, so did his influence. His lyrical masterpieces, such as In Memoriam A.H., The Lady of Shalott and Ulysses, showcased his ability to weave complex emotions and profound thoughts into beautifully crafted stanzas. His works resonated deeply with the public, catapulting him into the limelight and earning him the esteemed title of Poet Laureate in 1850. This appointment cemented his place as one of the foremost poets of his time, a position he held until his death in 1892. Tennyson's life and works continue to inspire and intrigue us today. His rich tapestry of experiences, his struggles, his triumphs, and his unique perspective on the human condition are all woven into his poetry. His words, timeless and evocative, continue to echo through the ages, touching the hearts and minds of readers across the globe. Now that we understand the man behind the lines, we are better equipped to explore and comprehend his work. Consider the quote, "The old order changeth, yielding place to new, and God fulfills himself in many ways, lest one good custom should corrupt the world." Diving straight in, "The old order changeth, yielding place to new," is a profound acknowledgement of the inevitability of change. Tennyson is highlighting how the old ways, traditions or systems, no matter how deeply rooted or established, will eventually give way to the new. It's a poetic reminder that change is not only inevitable, but it's also necessary for progress and growth. The subsequent line, "and God fulfills himself in many ways," carries a significant religious undertone. Tennyson is suggesting that change and progress are not arbitrary or chaotic, but rather part of a divine plan. It's an assertion that God manifests himself through various forms and situations, even those which we might initially perceive as disruptive or challenging. The final portion of the quote, "Lest one good custom should corrupt the world," is a cautionary reminder. Tennyson warns that sticking rigidly to a single good custom or tradition could potentially lead to corruption. It's a poignant reflection on the potential dangers of complacency and the refusal to adapt or evolve. He is encouraging us to keep an open mind, to question our traditions, and to constantly strive for improvement. So in essence, this quote is a fascinating mix of acceptance and warning. It embraces the inevitability of change, acknowledges the divine plan behind it, and reminds us of the potential risks of stagnation. It's a call to adapt, evolve, and improve, all while maintaining a sense of reverence and humility. With the quote dissected, we get a glimpse into Tennyson's perception of change and progress. It's a perception that doesn't shun the past, but rather builds upon it, that sees the divine in the ordinary, and that encourages us to constantly question, learn, and grow. A perception that, despite being penned in the 19th century, is just as relevant and thought-provoking today. Let's delve into the poem from which this quote springs, The Passing of Arthur. The poem, one of Tennyson's most renowned works, takes us into the world of King Arthur, the legendary British leader, as he faces his final moments. The narrative is soaked in themes of change, mortality, and the cyclical nature of life, which resonate deeply with the quote we're exploring. Throughout the poem, we see Arthur grappling with the inevitability of change, the crumbling of his old order, a kingdom he has nurtured. Yet, in the midst of this melancholy, the quote acts as a beacon of hope, a reminder that the old order must yield to the new to prevent stagnation and corruption. It's a universal truth that Tennyson masterfully weaves into the fabric of the Arthurian legend. Tennyson's exploration of the Arthurian legend isn't just a retelling of old tales, but a thoughtful examination of human nature and society. Arthur, a symbol of the old order, is not just a king but an embodiment of a system, an era, a set of values that must inevitably change. The new, on the other hand, is represented by the young knight Bedivere, who survives Arthur and is tasked with carrying forward his legacy. The symbolism in the passing of Arthur is powerful and poignant. The calm, still lake where Arthur sails away represents the unknown future, the uncertainty that comes with change. But it's also a symbol of hope, as it is here that the new order will take root. Tennyson's quote, then, is not just a line of verse, but a philosophical musing on the nature of change. It's a testament to his genius that he could encapsulate such profound thoughts in a single line of poetry, making it one of the most memorable lines in the history of English literature. The quote, as we can see, plays a significant role in the overall narrative of the passing of Arthur. Now let's bring Tennyson into our time. What can we learn from this quote today? The wisdom of Tennyson's words transcends time, remaining as relevant today as they were in the 19th century. This quote is a reflection on the inevitability of change, and it rings true in every facet of our contemporary world. Consider politics. The old order is constantly giving way to the new. Governments change, policies evolve. Tennyson's quote is a reminder that such transitions are not only natural but necessary for the progression of society. Shift your focus to our societal norms and values. They too are always evolving. What was once considered a good custom can, over time, become a hindrance to progress. Tennyson's words caution us against clinging to traditions that might corrupt the world instead of enriching it. And on a personal level, think about your own growth. As individuals, we are continually changing, learning, and evolving. The old order of our past selves must yield to the new versions of us, shaped by experiences and wisdom. The beauty of this quote lies in its universal applicability. Now for a little trivia about Tennyson. Did you know that despite his success as a poet, he was plagued by a fear of mental illness? This was likely fueled by the mental health struggles of several of his family members. It's a sobering reminder that even the greatest minds have their battles to fight. To wrap up, let's revisit Tennyson's words: "The old order changeth, yielding place to new, and God fulfills himself in many ways, lest one good custom should corrupt the world." Contemplate on this and see how it resonates with your world. Tennyson, through this quote, encourages us to embrace change, to question old norms, and to seek growth in every aspect of life. His words are not just a poetic reflection but a life lesson, a guide to navigating the changing tides of our world. As you go about your day, remember Tennyson's wisdom. Allow it to inform your perspectives and decisions, and most importantly, let it inspire you to be an agent of positive change in your world.